If you're tired of dealing with shell holders during your hand priming process, this RCBS Universal Hand Primer might just be for you. Let's check it out in this video. Hey there, Kyle Schultz from UltimateReloader.com. Recently, Gavin and I were at RCBS and they happened to ask us if we had one of these universal hand primer tools, and we said that we don't. So turns out they just sent us one to check out, and so here we are. So let's waste no time and get it out of the box and see what we have here. So instructions, pretty straightforward. Spare parts and possibly accessories, things like that. We'll get that open in just a sec. We got the hand priming tool unit itself and the body. And then we've got the primer tray. And that is all. This supports 32 ACP up to 4570. It's universal, so you don't need shell holders, kind of like I mentioned before. It has small and large seating plugs, which are in this bag, and we will get open right now. It's got a neat primer safety gate to prevent, if a primer detonation happens, to prevent a chain reaction, which is really cool. And it's this metal bar right here. And this primer tray holds 100 primers. It's also got a gate so you can turn it on or off, but we will demonstrate all of that in just a second. Let's get everything laid out so you can see it. Here is the small plug. Here is the large plug. And we got a set screw to hold the primer arm back when you're changing primer plugs. So what I'm going to do next is demonstrate how this works, and let's get to it. I've taken time to read the instructions, and it's really straightforward, and I figured since it's already ready to go for large priming, we'll start with large rifle priming instead. So what we'll want to do first is install the set screw into the side of the hand priming unit, and you can use the hex key that's included, and then grab your set screw here. I'm going to put it on the end of the hex key to make it a little easier. And you'll see on the side that there's a threaded hole that this set screw goes into. We'll just install this first. Be careful not to cross thread it. Like so. And I'm going to go all the way till it bottoms out and then back it out just a little bit and make sure that we are free and clear. And we are. So next we'll turn to the plunger installation tool that's included. It works with both the large and small plungers that you need to install. So we're going to take the black plunger first, which is for large priming. We're going to put it to the end of the tool here. Set that down for a moment, and then close our handle here and tighten our set screw. And so what this does is not only holds this handle back just a little bit, it holds it forward, it also prevents the internal rod from rotating around while you're installing the plunger. So the plunger is threaded. What we'll do is just set it inside of the top of the unit and screw in clockwise. On the side of the tool, there is a hole for using this hex key if you want to tighten it a little bit more, but I just decided to hand tighten it, figure it was good enough. So grab our hex key and undo our set screw just a little bit here. Nice satisfying crack. Might have to go a little bit more. There we go. And just check your operation. And the other thing to look for is to make sure that the plunger is protruding through the top of the unit, and it looks like we are good to go. So let's continue on and start priming our large rifle. So we'll grab our tray, and as mentioned, this does hold 100 primers, and it's generously sized, so it can also hold the federal trays if you use those, which are much larger. And in this case, we're using the CCI ones, which are small. So don't forget your safety equipment of some sort. Let's grab our CCI large rifle primers. Get the tray on top. Let's do the flip here. There we are. And there's concentric ridges that will help orient the primers anvil up, which is what we're looking for. Just give it some gentle shaking. Sometimes primers don't always like to flip around, like this one's being stubborn, so I'm just gonna flip it manually. It's pretty common. There we go. Oops, that was me. So what we'll look for as well is to make sure that this hole opening in the center of the tray is clear so we can install the top portion of our tray. And as mentioned as well, there's this gate. I'm gonna go ahead and close that so we don't have primer escapees trying to run their way all over the floor. Just gonna gently set this on top of our unit. Careful not to flip any primers. Double check that they're all anvil up. And in this case, they are. So our gate is preventing this from spilling all over the table, which is awesome. Set this aside. So for our priming, we're using Lapua, or in this case, our brass, we're using Lapua 308 brass that I happen to find. It's just virgin brass for this demonstration. So let's see how this thing works for us. Let's go ahead, and I think I might use my right hand since I'm right hand dominant. Install this into the unit here. Just give it a push, like so. And you'll see it's fully seated in there. Perfect. Now I'm gonna open our gate and let a primer fall through, and you'll see that it is ready to go. So let's try this out. So you see it's not primed. Slide it into the universal jaws here. About like that. Let's see what we have. Nice. All right. Let's check that we're flush or below flush. We are. We're not seeing any wobble. Nice. Let's do a few more here. You know, I don't have a whole lot of experience with these hand primers. Guy Miner on our team likes to use these a lot. And for me, just with the way my hands are, I don't have I don't have problems with my hands per se, but for me, my hands are small and I always find things like this a little tricky to use, but this one has some nice leverage. And I do like the universal jaws here. It's pretty nice. Reminds me of the Trim Pro that I have at home. Very similar system. Very nice. And sometimes you have to wiggle these primers into place, but in this case, they're just falling right through. I'm not having to really do anything. I'm able to hold it steady and just prime and get going. Cool. All right. So that is the large rifle priming. What we'll do next is I'll show you installing and changing over to small priming, and we'll prime some 223. So let's do that next. All right, so switching from the large plunger to the small plunger is a very simple operation. It's just a couple more steps. So first, let's go ahead and remove our large rifle primers from the tray. So what I'll do is get all of these back into the tray, like so. Close our gate and just actuate our handle here to make sure everything's free and clear, and it is, and our gate is closed. We will remove this, set this aside. And I've got an acro bin here. Don't worry, I will put all these primers back in the proper original packaging once I'm done with this video. Just to speed things along, I'm temporarily putting it in this acro bin. So that way I don't have to do it now. And I'm also gonna put the packaging inside of the bin and set it aside. So that way I have the fun task of putting all these back later, which is okay. Set these aside. So very similar operation as before, like I mentioned. What we'll do is go ahead and tighten our set screw again. Grab our plunger tool and remove the plunger. And you want to make sure that you don't lose this plunger. So set it in a place where you won't forget it. All right, now let's go ahead and loosen our set screw once more, just a little bit. Back it off, and what we'll do next is on the handle there's this knurled knob, and this will loosen the safety gate mechanism. And what you want to do is hold it about halfway and start to unloosen the knob. Now you don't want to let go because you don't want this handle to fly open and to misalign everything. So just when you get the knurled knob out, just let it go easily like so. That way everything stays in its place. And then when you remove the safety gate, this primer feed tray adapter will probably fall out as well, but that's the large primer feed adapter. So what we'll do is kind of reverse the same thing here. But what I'll like to do first is get the small plunger installed, because you won't be able to install the small plunger if you go ahead and put this small case tray adapter in. So let's get the clear small plunger and let's close our handle. And it might be ideal to just go ahead and tighten our set screw. That way we're making sure that rod doesn't spin on us. And let's carefully get the plunger in there. aligned. It could be a little tricky, but just have some patience there, and you can look through the window and see that it is starting to thread in. So let's give that a little tighten. Now we will loosen our set screw once more. Might be easier. There we go. All right, then let's install the primer tray adapter. And you'll see that there's S on it, so each adapter has S and the large one has L. So what you're also looking for is when you slide this in, is that the slot opening is, you can basically, if you look through it, you can see all the way through the priming unit. So that will allow you to insert the safety shield. And let's go ahead and put the unit back in there, get our knurled knob in there. This takes some hand jiggling, that's for sure. You can use the set screw as well to help you with this, but I decided to do that all in one go. All right, now let's check our operation. And you can see the plunger is showing all the way through there, so we are good to go there. Exactly the same operation as last time. Let's go ahead and load up our small rifle primers. We will be using the 223 brass from the bulk processing that we did with the Apex 10, and it's the Mojo 223 brass and small rifle primers. Of course, you don't have to do all 100 primers, but I'm doing that just for this demonstration because why not? So, similar thing. Let's give us a gentle shake. Might be easier on the table. I find sometimes it is instead of holding it up, at least for me. But each their own. Small primers like to get stuck in that central hole there. That's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and flip up our remaining few primers by hand. There we go. Double check that our gate is in the closed position. Move those over and carefully get this on like so. All right, double check that all our anvils are up. Our gate is closed, and it is. So there we go. All right, exact same thing. Install the tray into the unit and open the gate. So we see that primers have fallen through and we are ready to prime. So let's grab one of our 223 processed brass here and give it a go. That one's really smooth since I put a pretty good swage on these when I was processing them. Oh, let's do a few more. Yeah, these are even easier than the Lapua. Very nice. One last one. There we go. You can see it's sitting on there nicely and right under flush. So that's how you prime and convert to the small plunger. All right, so in conclusion, what do you think of the RCBS universal hand priming tool? I think it's really neat not having to deal with shell holders and being able to keep your shell holders free on your press or for other tools that may need it. So it's just one less thing that you have to deal with or search in your bin for. So that is pretty neat. And what is your preferred method of priming? Do you like hand priming? Do you like bench priming or on-press priming? I'm actually one of the few that really like on-press priming most of the time personally. Next to that, I prefer bench priming, but hand priming tools definitely have their place. It's all in preference, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of this, and until next time, I will see you all later.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. Thanks again for watching.